All right, good morning, everybody. We are here for the Marion County Board of Commissioners weekly board session. It's Wednesday, May 28th, 2025. It's 9:06 a.m. We're in the Senator Hearing Room at 555 Court Street, Northeast in Salem. And if you would, please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And I apologize, I have a...
Well, Madam Chair, it's I was saying this before you got here. It's probably the greenest time of year in the Willamette Valley. You drive around and it doesn't get any greener. And my allergies, Monday, just kicked in.
Yeah,
So.
well, I have allergies and a cold. Those little gremlins at my house, those granddaughters.
Oh, yeah.
They carry all these germs, and it turns out I came home from
Yeah.
one day last week, and bam.
Gotcha.
So they got me. That's what happened. Yes, maybe I should get more sleep. Anyway, we don't have anybody signed up today for public comment, and it looks like we have a pretty lengthy consent calendar. So which one of you would like to carry it
Well,
this morning?
since I was in a conference last week and Commissioner Willis was here working hard,
I was working hard.
I probably should, I should probably read the consent calendar because next week's going to be even longer.
Oh, there you
I
go.
think.
Oh, perfect.
Right?
Okay.
Based on what we did yesterday? Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Madam Chair, I'll move the consent calendar. First item is under the Assessor's Office to approve a contract for services with whatever that is, Pictometry International Corporation doing business as Eagle View in the amount of $228,160.62 to provide aerial imagery for geographic information system imaginary data through January 31st, 2027. Well, I hope they're not all that hard. All right, under Board of Commissioners, Board Committee appointments, under the Planning Commission, approve orders reappointing George Gravenhurst, Dennis Person, Brittany Randall to the Marion County Planning Commission with terms ending May 31st, 2025 and ending May 31st, 2029. Under Community Services, approve amendment number 2 for the Economic Development Grant Agreement with Strategic Economic Development Corporation to add $160,000 for a new agreement total of $480,000 to continue to provide business expansion, retention, and recruitment services through June 30th, 2026. Under Business Services, and Brenda noted that it was alphabetically out of order, but it's okay. Under Business Services, approve amendment number 4 to the lease agreement with Pioneer Trust Bank National Association trustee for the Salem Foundation to add $114,028.92 for a new contract total of $1,281,432.35 and extend the term of the lease through June 30th, 2026 for office space located at 3876 Beverly Avenue Northeast, Building G in Salem, Oregon, utilized by the Marion County Health and Human Services Department for Child and Youth Outpatient Services. Under Finance, approve amendment number 1 to the purchase order with Professional Credit Services to add $100,000 for a new purchase order total of $200,000 to continue to provide collection services for Marion County departments through June 30th, 2025. Under Health and Human Services, approve amendment number 2 to the contract for services with Kairos Northwest to add $85,000 for a new contract total of $185,000 to continue to provide non-residential mental health services, residential mental health treatment services, and inpatient or residential treatment services for youth and young adults in transition through June 30th, 2027. Under Legal Counsel, approve an order appointing Josh Soper and Rebecca Dorman as backup Marion County hearings officers. Under Public Works, approve an order to vacate portions of Holt Road, County Road 880, that is located east of Oregon State Highway 214 as described in Exhibit A, C, and E, and depicted in Exhibits B, D, and F. Also under Public Works, approve a purchase order with Cummins Sales and Service in the amount of $216,807.41 for the purchase and delivery of 8 electric generators to be utilized at 7 sites for Marion County Radio Project through November 22nd, 2026. Number 10, approve intergovernmental agreement with the City of Salem in a not-to-exceed amount of $20,000 for the city to construct a 60-foot segment of sidewalk that is located in the county's jurisdiction on 49th Avenue in Southeast Salem, Oregon, as depicted in Exhibit A through June 30th, 2028. And finally, under the tax office, approve orders for the property tax refund for the following tax accounts. Intuitive Surgical Inc. in the amount of, account number 611247 in the amount of $22,871.40, and Links Group Inc. account number 581871 in the amount of $87,387 $387.57.
I'll second the motion.
A motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, the motion passes. Thank you. All right, our first item under action is Kelly. We're going to hear about an intergovernmental agreement with Marion County Extension. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Well, my name is Kelly Weiss. I'm the Community Services Director here at the county, and as you mentioned, today we're going to be talking about the opportunity for considering an intergovernmental agreement between Marion County and the Marion County 4-H Extension and Service District. And this is for the county's work to provide administrative support for the district. So the agreement before you is based on the current agreement between the county and the service district, which was extended in June of 2020 for an additional 5-year term, so it's set to expire June 30th of this year. Under the agreement, the service district contracts with the county to provide administrative support services. So what this means is providing staffing for the district, providing staffing to develop and implement the district's grant programs, staffing for budget and accounts payable support, and then staffing for coordination of 4-H extension services. So to support these tasks, the service district agrees to pay the county 5% of the annual proposed levy amount. So these are distributed by 60% to Community Services Department, which houses the staff to administer the district, 20% to the Business Services Department, and 20% to the Finance Department. So on May 1st, during the Marion County 4-H Extension Service District meeting, the Board of Commissioners, acting in your capacity as the district body, approved the proposed agreement. So today you have the opportunity to consider the proposed agreement on behalf of the county.
Commissioners, do you have any questions?
No? This is a 5-year deal, right?
Yes.
Okay.
5-year renewal?
Yeah.
Kelly, you said that the extension pays the county for its administrative services 5% of the overall tax?
Yeah, the levy amount.
So, but then you said that 5% goes to community services and then 20%
Yeah,
and
so
20,
of the
that's like
5%.
45%, not 5%.
Of the 5% of the levy amount that goes to administrative support to the county, it's divvied out to 60% of that 5% to community services.
Okay.
Then, you know.
Okay, thank you. I just want to make sure that we weren't like, I couldn't understand why we would be putting 45% of that overall into the county versus out into the community.
No, it's 5%.
Which would seem very odd to me based on the numbers I've seen as an extension director over the last 5 years, but.
It's about, what, $1.2 million a year, the assessment?
Oh, yes.
So
Don't quote me
if
on
it's
that,
$1
but it's a
million,
little over
we're
$1
getting
million.
50,000 and we're splitting 50,000 up. 30,000 is going to you and 10,000 each going to business and finance, basically,
Right.
to run the administration, so.
Right, thank you. Okay. Commissioner, you have any questions?
I don't.
All right, I'll take the motion.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the incoming funds intergovernmental agreement with the Marion County Extension 4-H Service District to establish the terms and conditions which the county will provide administrative, professional, and technical services to the district effective July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2030.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, the motion passes.
Great.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thank you.
All right, good morning, Rhett. We're going to hear under Health and Human Services about an interdepartmental agreement, with Marion County Sheriff's Office and the Health Department. I'm thrilled about this.
Yes, so
Finally, it's arrived.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Marion, Administrative Division Director for Marion County Health and Human Services. So, as you're aware, in the fall of 2024, Health and Human Services was awarded a federal grant in the amount of $550,000 from the U.S. Department of Justice. And we were actually one of 20 government organizations throughout the entire country to receive this grant, and the only one in Oregon, so we're pretty proud about that. What we plan to do with this money is re-implement our...
Hold on, Rhett. Is his microphone not working?
Oh, you're gonna have to start over again.
Sorry, Rhett.
All right. So
Okay,
for
start from the
record,
beginning. Yes, thank you, sir.
I'm Rhett Martin.
I want to hear it twice anyway. So.
You do such a great job.
I'm Rhett Martin, Administrative Services Division Director for Marion County Health and Human Services. And here this morning to discuss a grant that we were awarded in the fall of 2024, which was from the federal government, $550,000 from the U.S. Department of Justice. We were one of 20 government organizations throughout the country to receive this grant, and the only entity in Oregon. So what we plan to do with this money is re-implement our mobile crisis response program, which partners a qualified mental health professional with a Marion County Sheriff's Deputy to respond to and support individuals in the community experiencing mental health crisis. The ultimate goal of this program is to divert individuals whenever possible from the criminal justice system and connect them with appropriate resources within the community. So the contract before you this morning formalizes that partnership between our health department and the sheriff's office, allowing us to serve the community through September of 2027. So with your approval, health will pass through up to $627,820 to the sheriff's office to help cover their costs for sheriff's deputy, materials, supplies, and administrative costs. And then of that, $550,000 will come directly from that federal grant, with the remaining $77,820 to be paid with opioid settlement fund and House Bill 4002. Are there any questions?
I don't have any questions. I'm just thrilled that we're finally here to be able to get it back online. I think it's a missed opportunity that the state decided to, was that in 2023? When they decided to say that law enforcement and mental health professionals could no longer work together in the same vehicle? Yeah.
But we didn't end ours till 24. It's not been dead for 2 years.
Yes, that's right. But we've still had a gap for a
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
And this grant is for 3 years?
Yes, there's September 1st.
Yeah, big deal.
Yeah, it's a big deal. And it's just one team, but it's better than no teams. And hopefully we'll be able to navigate some, education to the legislature and the Oregon Health Authority and get them to refund these systems in the future.
This was something that we went back to DC to talk to our federal delegation about when this was changed, and I think this is the fruit of that.
Senator Wyden specifically.
I remember
He's
sitting in the
very
room when
passionate about
Wyden went crazy. He said, "No, that's the way I
That's
intended
right.
it."
Absolutely not. That is not what I wanted. That is not what my bill says.
Yeah.
That's what Oregon Health Authority thought his bill said, so,
Right, he wrote what he called the cahoots bill,
that's right.
that he kept calling it the cahoots bill, which is not the same system of care, but either way, he's supportive of it, and I'm glad that we were able to get this. Did you write this grant originally?
It was, Health and Human Services.
Thanks for going after it and getting it. It's super important work. Yeah.
Okay.
Commissioner Cameron, would you make the motion?
I would be happy to, Madam Chair. I'll move that we approve an intergovernmental agreement with the Marion County Sheriff's Office in the amount of $627,820 for mobile crisis services, materials, supplies, and administrative costs through September 30th, 2027.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, the motion passes. Thanks, Rhett. All right, Gary, under IT, we're going to consider approval of a purchase order with Microsoft.
Good morning, Commissioners. Gary Christopherson, IT Director. Before you today is a 3-year contract for services for Microsoft Unified Support for $327,529.73. This contract provides critical support services for all the Microsoft products. It provides an assigned customer service account manager for Marion County. We meet with that individual on a monthly basis and discuss our accounts and what's happening at Microsoft and the things that we should be doing to keep up with their changes that happen on their end. We get 3 formal training engagements that we take full advantage of. One of the big benefits is 40 hours of dedicated engineering support. So if we are having a technical problem with something, we can call those people immediately and get the support we need without having to go through their standard service desk. We get access to 40 different on-demand assessments. We don't run 40 every year, but we do run them on a regular basis. We get an unlimited amount of break, fix, and advisory services. And we also get access to a lot of free training opportunities. A couple of key benefits are the enhanced operational resilience through a 24/7 problem resolution escalation support service. It maximizes our return on investment by leveraging the advisory services on how we can implement their products, and it helps us improve our service reliability by minimizing downtime. Do you guys have any questions?
I don't have any questions. Commissioners, do you have any questions?
Nope. Really like the product, like Microsoft 365.
It's a
Keep it
great
going. Better than what we used to have.
Okay. Let's see, Commissioner Willis.
Yeah.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the purchase order with Microsoft Corporation, the amount of $327,529.73 for Unified Enterprise Support Services effective June 17th, 2025 through June 16th, 2028.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. The motion passes. Thanks,
Thank you.
Gary. All right, Troy. Good morning. We're going to hear from the Juvenile Director about a partnership between Marion County and Washington County.
Good morning, Commissioners. Troy Gregg, your Marion County Juvenile Director. I'm here today to get consider approval for implementing IGA with Washington County, not to exceed $12 million to provide juvenile detention services in Guarantee Bed, effective July 1st, 2025, through June 30th, 2028. The contract you see before you is similar to the one that you've seen from my management updates, with the exception of the addition of 5227, which just basically says that Washington County needs to send representative on a yearly basis to just review again and provide some feedback on different things that they would recommend. You don't have to take the recommendations, but it's good to have those and get different advice. Are there any specific questions about this?
I would love for you to tell me who it is that Washington County will be sending. I know that did Commissioner Fye ever make her way down to tour? You would
No,
remember.
the DA's office has come down through Washington County, but none of the commissioners have made it down yet.
Okay.
Clackamas has made it down yet recently.
Okay.
And so they are not required to send the commissioners. They can send a representative from the commissioners, but it is in there that it basically says representatives from Washington County Board of Commissioners or their designee shall tour.
Okay,
So
great.
It would be great, but I understand that commissioners can be busy and trying to get everybody down there, it can kind of pile up. So just as long as somebody from their representation is there.
Okay, wonderful.
Well, I'm pretty happy we got to this board. Thank you, Troy, for all your patience
You're welcome.
when you're negotiating on behalf of the county. Seems like a pretty good deal, and hopefully it's going to be a big benefit to those kids.
Yeah, I'm excited. I know that they're very excited too. I hear a lot of, every time I see the juvenile director up there now, they talk about how excited they are with this partnership. Just an FYI too, we've received a lot of compliments. We've done this with Clackamas over the last year as well, and their judge in particular pulled their juvenile director aside and said, hey, I want to apologize because I think initially she was a little bit like, what are we doing? Why are we doing this kind of stuff? But then was just raving about the work that Marion County was doing with the kids there and the positive experience that they've had. So, like I said, I will always speak to it. We have fantastic staff. We have fantastic detention programs. We continue to grow and try to continue to aid kids and help them to be successful in the community, as well as keep the community safe by keeping the right kids in. But I'm proud of what we do, and like I said, word's getting out there, and we're happy to partner with Washington County. I think it'll be a great opportunity for our staff and them, and so we good.
I love, this was several years ago, but I remember hearing a story of one of our, I guess it'd be probation officers. It was like at the grocery store and some, mid-20s person bumped into him and was like, "You don't remember me?" And she's like, "No, you were my officer, right?" And then telling her kind of how good he was doing and kind of how much better his life is, and not been involved in criminal justice system since he was a early teenager or whatever. And so it's those kind of stories that kind of keep you going in that work, I imagine.
It's a unique field when the best you can do is never hearing from the people that you work from again.
Yeah.
It's a positive experience, but those moments when you run into somebody and they recognize and say, "Hey, you made an impact in my life," is really powerful.
Yeah. I'm grateful for the work you all do, Troy.
Thank you.
Yeah. You ready?
I am.
Yeah. Thanks, Troy. Madam Chair, I will move that we approve the incoming funds intergovernmental agreement with Washington County, Oregon, in a not-to-exceed amount of $12 million to provide juvenile detention services and 16 guaranteed detention beds effective July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2028.
I'll second the motion.
A motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, the motion passes.
See you guys tomorrow for budget.
I can't wait for the melody that is about to be
Oh,
upon us.
yeah. You can't let us down, Troy.
He won't.
I'll do my best.
All right, and then the next two final items on our agenda are under Public Works. The first one is Scott Wilson to talk about a price agreement with Blacktop Northwest. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. For the record, my name is Scott Wilson. I'm the Road Operations Division Manager. I'm here to seek approval of contract PW-6589-25 with Blacktop Northwest Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $400,000 for the supply and application of soil stabilization products through December of 2027. In February of 2025, Public Works issued a request for proposal, PW-1539-24, for the delivery and application of soil stabilization products, the Oregon Buys and the Oregon Daily Journal of Commerce. Only one qualified quote was received. Marion County is responsible for the maintenance of approximately 200 miles of gravel roads within the county. And soil stabilization is used on the gravel roads to mitigate the dust, reduce rutting, washboarding, and reduce the county's overall or annual gravel road maintenance costs. This product will be used for about approximately 9 miles of our high maintenance sections of gravel road that we have. Public Works typically budgets $125,000 annually for soil stabilization application and the supply of these services, and subsequent years are expected to be budget similar. And I'm here to answer any other questions.
Do you have any questions?
Nope.
Mr. Cameron?
We got it.
All right, Mr.
Go
Willis.
fix those roads. Madam Chair, I move that we approve the price agreement with Blacktop Northwest LLC in the not-to-exceed amount of $400,000 for the supply and application of soil stabilization products for gravel roads within the county's jurisdiction through December 31st, 2027.
I'll second the motion.
A motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the motion passes. Thanks, Scott. And finally on the agenda, Ryan Crothers is going to come talk to us about a construction contract with Mid-Valley Excavation. Good morning, Ryan.
Good morning. For the record, Ryan Crother, Marion County Public Works. Give me 1 second, I'll open this up.
You don't need to show me because I drive this all the time.
You'll recognize our pictures
Yeah.
then. So, as you said, I'm here to talk about our annual guardrail replacement project that we recently bid. So the project locations are on Viewcrest Road and Skyline Road, just outside the city of Salem, southeast of Salem. You can see here on the map. So currently there's a guardrail that's in substandard condition. It's not at the correct height. It's been hit. It's just in need of replacement. We work with our operations group and engineering departments to identify locations throughout the county that are high priority areas for guardrail replacement, and this rose to the top of that list for this year. So we have built our plan set, bid the project, and we're looking to go to construction this summer. Here you can see what our new guardrail will look like. You'll notice we no longer use wood posts, we use metal posts. We put it in at the correct height. We use what's called a Midwest guardrail system that has the post, the rail, and end treatments, which are really important. Those end treatments are done in a way that, it's safer if a car were to hit them than some of the older systems. Included in this project, we'll also remove the existing substandard guardrail. We'll do some gravel shoulder work to be able to put that guardrail in at the correct location, and then just any other work that's required to get this project done. Our low bid came from Mid-Valley Excavation at $111,770, and our construction completion in the contract is June 30th of 2024. With that, do you have any questions? Or 2025?
I was going to say.
I just know, I should have caught that before I got here.
We're going back to the future.
I looked at June 30th closely.
Okay.
The contract says, or the motion says June 30th, 26. Is that right?
So what we do, the contract goes through 26. So there's 2 dates. We have a date for completion of the work, and then we also extend it 1 year past that in case there's any what we call punch list work, which say there's minor corrective work after they put this guardrail in, they can go out. We want to still have them under contract for that. Or if there's any changes in the work that require an extension, we don't want to have to amend the contract, so we're able to have those changes happen and complete the contract before the expiration date, which is different than the completion date.
So we approve this today. They're going to be able to get this work done in 30 days.
We will work with them. It took a little longer to get to the board than we had planned when we bid the project.
Okay.
It is a very small amount of work. We expect it's about a week's worth of actual construction,
Okay.
but they'll have to make sure they get this ordered quickly and do their submittals.
Okay. Well, it'll be done around the end of middle summer, for sure. Okay.
All right, Madam Chair, I will move that we approve a construction contract with Mid-Valley Excavation LLC in the amount of $111,770 to replace existing standard guardrails at Viewcrest Road South and Skyline Road South through June 30th, 2026.
I'll second the motion.
A motion and a second, and is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, the motion passes. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
All right, commissioners, is there anything for the record? We're through our agenda. I had it posted at Town Hall last night at the Staten Park and Ride. Partners present were both cities of Staten and Sublimity, and ODOT, OSP, Chariots, Marion County Sheriff's Office, Board's Office. And there were a couple of dozen community members that came, and we were able to hear their concerns around the homelessness issues at that park and ride that leak over into the wetlands that have contaminated the wetlands and cause, a fair amount of harm and crime for the neighboring community that kind of abuts that wetland. We essentially came to a consensus that closing that park and ride would be best for the community. Chariots agreed that it was not a substantially used environment and that they could just relocate their bus sign to the street and the bus could just pull through and pick folks up. And actually not a lot of folks park and ride. Most people that are using it are walkers. They walk down and ride like it's a regular bus stop. So I requested that both cities bring it on their council agenda and discuss it with their communities before ODOT pursues the closure, but it felt like the consensus was going to be that's the direction that they're going to go.
Does ODOT own the park and ride?
Yeah, and
Okay.
the wetland,
Okay.
and the easement, of course, up to 22.
Okay.
And Counselor Sims from Staten suggested that maybe there could be a partnership between ODOT and Staten to where Staten could acquire the property and turn it over to commercial development. So it could be a better welcome to Staten than
Yeah, that makes sense.
a giant asphalted pad that has a lot of unsavory behavior occurring. It lasted a little more than an hour. I was a little surprised at the length, but people were really into the discussion and really collaborative. I was really happy to see everybody present. So I think we'll see some decisions around early July after these two cities have had discussion with their community and then they correspond with ODOT. on what they hope to see for the environment. But ODOT was very interested in being a good partner and steward of that property and mitigating any of the issues. And while we were in the discussion, we deterred probably 4 or 5 individuals from setting up their overnight stay, and an individual who maybe wasn't up to the right decisions in life trucked through and had a small interaction with the Oregon State Police officer towards the end of the meeting. So it was really telling to see kind of the activity that
Who was there from OSP?
I don't recall his name. He's temporarily assigned here. He actually usually covers the McMinnville area. He works for Zahner, but I don't remember his first name. The sheriff was there, and the commander was there, and Julia, the city manager from Staten, and the mayor from Sublimity, and is it Morrison? Councilor Morrison from Sublimity.
Was Brian there?
Brian was unable to be there,
Okay.
but
Brian,
Mayor
The
Quigley.
mayor.
I did have heard his sentiments of the site.
Yeah.
Not directly, but indirectly, and then they shared a bit on his behalf.
Yeah.
And I think that the councils will have some good discussion about it. The community's pretty frustrated. Some of the Sublimity, residents expressed concern that Deputy Barber was having to leave his paid post in Sublimity to go deal with a state-owned property issue on the other side of the highway. And that kind of spurred a conversation among those community members about what the right thing to do is, even though it's frustrating to kind of protect the greater whole. And so, anyway,
What is the plan just for ODOT to put a gate up? On the
they'll
entrance?
barricade it with concrete barricades. Yeah.
Okay.
I suggested that maybe we could find some great art students from the local high schools to decorate those barricades with a welcome to Staten sign, so it didn't end up being graffitied. Because I think there's less likely to be graffiti over art than there is just bare concrete barricades.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there was some other questions. I'll have to follow up with ODOT on inquiring about the suggestion that there's toxic waste around the wetland because of some of the camping and behavior that's occurred over there. Whose responsibility is that to mitigate and to pay attention to? There was a lot of concern about that.
Yeah, definitely.
And then afterwards, a gal shared with me that she has had to enhance her security system at her home. She's a single
That's
mom,
terrible.
and she abuts the wetland, and there's like a walking path around it that allows individuals who kind of, I guess, prey on vulnerable individuals have sought her house out more than once, and that
Have there been police responses to that?
I don't know. The chief was unable to attend. There was a miscommunication in her invitation.
Okay.
But I would suspect that she's, calling the police,
Yeah.
but I'm not entirely sure. Commander Bernards was able to help individuals kind of see the comparative of, there was some concern that if you just shut it down, will it just promote people to cross over and just stay because there won't be any traffic? And he stated that previously there was a park and ride on Golf Club Road that they closed for same reasons, and that there's been no issues since that closure, and he feels it'll be
The same.
the same.
Yeah. Okay.
It's pretty difficult to access once you put up
The barrier.
the barriers.
Yeah.
So, it was, I appreciated the outreach of the residents.
Yeah.
They're very consistent, and we're able to convene a great group of community collaborators, and everybody left, I think, feeling heard and with a path forward. I'm not exactly sure what the outcome will be, but it feels like that would be the case.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah. Anything else? Okay, we're adjourned.
Well-
Oh, just kidding.
Well, you might be disappointed. It took him 45 minutes to get through that agenda yesterday. You said it should be a half hour.
That's true. That's true.
It's because
I wasn't on my game.
it was, neither was I. I didn't realize I was supposed to be the chair until I nominated him every time. You even know what we're talking about?
You're talking about the district's meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got through in 45 minutes instead of an hour and a half.
Good job.
Yeah. Good.
I'm so
Oh,
proud
you are
of
proud of
I'm
us.
so
She
proud of
gave
you.
us like a B.
I thought
That
she'd
was
give
like,
us-
that was like a B minus.
I thought I was like disappointed in us.
Oh, you guys are hilarious. Yeah, I'm
Right.
sorry I couldn't be there, and I'm glad that you took care of that business in a timely manner. All right, we're adjourned.